The 2024 NFL season is closer than you think, with the season starting in just over a month now, and the Detroit Lions' first preseason game also starting here in just a couple weeks. So, with that being said, I wanted to go through my 2024 schedule prediction of the Detroit Lions with you guys. There was a couple games that I just couldn't really decide between, but I'm going to go through my score predictions and everything for each game, as well as playoffs. So we're going to go through my 2024 Detroit Lions schedule prediction, starting with week number 1 against the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be a playoff rematch of Wild Card Weekend last year in that heated game against the Rams, where the Lions came out and won by 1. And we're going to go ahead into week 1, Sunday Night Football, the first Sunday night game of the year, first game of the year, first home game of the year. I'm really trying to go to this game as well, but the tickets are they're so expensive. But either way, I think we're going to show the Rams that we won that playoff game fair and square. We're going to come out and we're going to win again. They're not going to have Aaron Donald. We're going to have an upgraded defense. I think we're going to come out and we're going to win this game. I still think it will be a little close. I'm going to go 27-24 Detroit Lions, and we'll move to 1-0 on the season. Week 2 is against the Tampa Bay Bucks, another playoff rematch. Kind of funny that we're starting both of our playoff wins out, the first 2 games of the season. Now, I do think that we're definitely a lot better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought we were last year. We beat them twice. By 8 and by 16 or 14, I believe. And I think we're going to do it yet again. I do think it's going to be a pretty similar result to last season's playoff game, which we won 31-23. I think the Bucs will make a late push, but I do think the Lions are going to come out victorious in this 30-22 and head into week 3 2-0. Now, week 3 is against Arizona Cardinals. This should be one of our 3, easiest games of the season, if not the easiest. Now, the Cardinals could surprise some people this year. I would not be surprised if they came out and kind of, just surprised everyone, went 9-8, and maybe even made a run for the wild card. However, I don't see them being there yet. I don't think their offense is set yet. I still think they need to add a lot of pieces on defense, but they do have a couple good players. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a hard guy to cover. They've got a solid offensive core, but I do see the Lions dominating this game, and I see them winning it 42-20 over the Arizona Cardinals. Week 4, back at home against Seattle for the 3rd year in a row. And, we've had some bad memories against this team, losing in overtime last year, off of a coin flip the year before. Just kind of, our defense just decided, not to show up to the game. We can't let them do that again, because I'm so sick of Seahawks fans. They were like, I could not stand their fan base last year when they beat us. And then all that just, go 7-10. So this is going to be the year that I think we beat them. They really haven't upgraded much, honestly. I think we're going to beat this team pretty handily, and our defense is much upgraded. 35-21 is my score prediction for that. Now we come off the bye week, heading into week 6. We play the Dallas Cowboys, another not playoff rematch, but another rematch from last year. One of those revenge games. A lot of people are looking at the season as the revenge tour. You play the 49ers, Packers, Bears, obviously. Then you also play teams like the Cowboys, and I think there's a couple other, the Seahawks. There's a couple of games that we're seeking revenge. This is one of them. This is going to be in Dallas, and this is one of those games that I had a tough time deciding, because this seems like a game that we would lose. Week 5 coming, we're 4-0. Are we really going to move to 5-0? Honestly, I think that we're going to be so fired up and just fueled up from that loss last season, the way that we lost that game. I think we're going to come out and I think we're going to win this game. I think we're going to take down the Dallas Cowboys. I got us winning 21-17. Our defense has this is where our defense kicks in and really starts to play well. Week 7 is in Minnesota, taking on the Vikings, and our first divisional game of the year. We're 5-0 at this point, and I don't think that the Vikings have any business beating us next year at all. I don't think we should lose to them. If we lose in Chicago or in Green Bay, I think I'll be able to accept that, because those are good teams and hard places to win. We always struggle against them as well. The Vikings are not a team we should struggle against. We've beaten them the last 4 times. I got the Lions winning this one 34-24 and winning it in Minnesota, moving to 6-0. Week 8 against the Tennessee Titans. Are the Lions going to move to 7-0? Well, I think they will. This is another really, easy game. Maybe not easy, but no game in the NFL is easy. This is one of our easier games on the schedule. This should be a win. I would expect it to be. Sorry, I forget if it's home or away. I think it might be away, but even if it's home or away, this is a game that we should be able to dominate. I think this is the game that our defense just comes out and just dominates, kind of like that Raiders game last year. 24-6 is going to be my score prediction for that. Week 9 in Green Bay. This is where it gets interesting. This is another game I couldn't decide against. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. Between the Cowboys and the Packers game, in Green Bay. We're going to lose one of those. I'm not sure which. I'm going to go with this game, though. I think this is one of those games we come out and, we just come up just short. I think that the Packers have a pretty good team. I don't think they're better than us at all. They're not going to, win the division or anything. But I do think they're going to take a late lead with a minute and a half left or so, and our offense isn't going to be able to go down the field and tie the game. We're going to lose this game 24-27 in a heartbreaker, but don't worry. Wait till the end of the video and you'll see. Week 10 is against the Texans. Now, coming off that Packers loss, obviously, we're going to be in prime time. I think this is a Sunday night, Monday night game. I forget. But this is going to be that, bounce back game, just like we always did last year, where we lose a game, we answer the next game with a big win. In Houston, who I think is arguably one of the best teams in the NFL, maybe top 5 roster-wise, we're going to come off of that loss, and we're going to take down the Texans in Houston. Another game that we could definitely lose, but I do think we're going to win this game 30-27 in a tight one. Week 11. This is a game I'm also trying to go to because it's right before my birthday. So I'm trying to at least go to one Lions game this year because I haven't been in a couple years. I need to see them. Lions are 8-1 at this point. We're at home against the Jaguars. Another pretty, one of our easier games. The Jaguars aren't going to be much this year. They struggled last year to end the season. Trevor Lawrence hasn't really looked that great. They lost Kelvin Ridley. This is a game that we should be able to handle. I think we're going to take down the Jaguars. I think we're gonna be up pretty big, like 35-20, 35, whatever. And I think that the Jaguars will make a late push, but I do think we'll win this game 35-27. Week 12 against the Indianapolis Colts is gonna be in Indianapolis, and this is just one of those games that I think we're gonna come in and we're just gonna have one of those dud games. You remember we had it multiple times last year against the Packers, the Bears, even the Seahawks. Like, we just have those games where the offense just kind of is slow and like not really moving. Maybe we have a couple injuries. Defense doesn't play great, but the offense just kind of is slow, not really. Goff has a bit of an off game. Maybe we're missing a couple linemen, or maybe a Monroe's hurt. I think this is just gonna be one of those games that we just don't really show up to. I think we'll be up 20-14 with like 4 minutes left, and I just think we'll struggle to score to end the game. And I think the Colts are gonna beat us 21-20. Very close game, but man, it's gonna come down to the wire. But I do think that they will get us there. It's gonna be one of those games, random games that we just lose. Now, Week 13 against the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a home game, and then again, coming off of a loss. This Bears team should have beaten us twice last year. This is not going to be an easy game. You can't take, you never know how Caleb Williams is going to be, because even, he could be horrible the whole season, and then Week 13, he could just hit that spot where he's like, yep, I know what I'm doing. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a gritty game. I think we'll be down 1 with, a couple minutes left. I think we'll take a late lead, and I think the defense will get the job done and will help us win this game 26-20 heading into Week 14 against the Green Bay Packers at home. That Bears game, by the way, is also on Thanksgiving. It's going to be even tougher because we suck on Thanksgiving. But then we're back at home again against Green Bay, and we're seeking revenge. They just beat us, and this is probably a game that could determine the division. I don't really see the Packers winning more than 11 games. I think their ceiling is 11. Their floor is probably 8 or 9. Being at home, we should be able to get revenge and win this game. Now, again, I think we could easily beat them in Lambeau. We did it last year. I think it's a good chance it happens again this year. I do think it's a really good chance. We probably will, honestly. But, you never know, right? This game at home, though, I think we're going to take down the Packers pretty easily. 31-17, we bounce back and get that dub. Week 15, we are 11-2 at this point, taking on the Bills, and this will be another one of those easy games. I think the Bills are going to have a really off year this year. I just see that happening. They made that late playoff push last year where I think they were like 6-6, and everyone was like, yeah, their schedule, there's no way they win, and they ended up winning 4 of their last 5 or whatever it was. It was pretty impressive. But this year I think they might only win 7 to 8 games. Their offense is missing pieces. Their defense isn't great. I got us winning this game pretty easily. I got us winning this one 37-20, and I think our offense has a great night. Chicago Bears in Chicago, Week 16. We're 12-2 at this point, and this is another, just like last year. We just come in and we can't get it going against the Chicago Bears, and it sucks. It's one of those divisional games that you just don't want to lose, but it happens, right? I think at this point, after beating the Packers, this is a game that we'll be comfortable losing, because I think we'll be at least 2 games ahead of the Packers already. whether we win or lose. I do think the Bears are going to get the best of us here. They're going to win this game 24-20, but we'll still be 2 games up in the division. Now, here's another big one. This game will probably determine the winner of the NFC. And honestly, if I were to tell you right now who I think is going to win, I think we will win. I think we'll have enough fire under our belt from last year, knowing that we're better. It's going to be in San Fran. I think we're going to come out. I think we're going to beat them again, honestly. But when it comes to the schedule, man, I looked at it and I was like, this could be one of those games. It's the end of the year. We're kind of getting ready. And I just think the Niners might have a big game. And depending on what happens with Brandon Ayuk, I think that this could be a game that we lose. I got the Niners beating us 24-20 as well. Same score as the last week's score, but still, I think the Niners edge us in that game, and we'll take the number 1 overall seed with that game. Now, Week 18 at this point, I think we'll already have the division basically on wraps. I think the Packers will probably win 10 games, maybe 11 if they're lucky. We'll already be, 12-4. The division's already been wrapped up after that Packers win. So now it's really just about, finishing out the year on a good note and making sure that we get that number 2 seed. I think the Niners will probably have the 1 seed by then after beating us head-to-head. And I think we'll come out at home against the Vikings just like last year and just, do our thing. We'll get the win 31-20 to finish the season 12-5. And we'll head into Wild Card Weekend with number 2 overall seed in the NFC. And we'll rematch against the LA Rams. I think that's going to be interesting. I really don't know who the 7 seed will be next year. There's a couple teams, but honestly, the only real team I could see would be like the Bears and the Rams. And I think that the Rams are more likely. I think they'll probably win 9 games again. We'll come back to Detroit. We'll play Stafford again. It's going to be, high stakes again. Everyone watching rematch from last year and from Sunday night when we beat them. I think we're going to end up 3-0 against them in the last, 3 games. And I think Goff is going to show the world why trading him away from the Rams was not a good decision, even though they did get a Super Bowl. But I think we will win 34-26 and win that game and head back to the divisional round, where we'll play the Philadelphia Eagles. And this will be another interesting game because the Eagles have a very, very good roster, and we'll see how they do, because you never know with the Eagles. They should have been better than what they were last year. They started the year 10-2 or something. I think they were the best record in the NFL, and then they just completely fell off the face of the planet. Just kind of fell into the playoffs. They didn't even really deserve to be there. They just kind of stumbled in and lost to the Bucks pretty badly. And I think they'll be a lot better this year. This is going to be a tough game. However, I do see us win this game 33-24 and head to the NFC Championship for another rematch back in San Francisco. Now, this is the game, right? We've lost them twice now, both close games, both games we should have won. We came into that regular season game wanting revenge, seeking revenge against them, and we came up just short. It hurts even more because they get the number 1 overall seed. We don't get to play the NFC Championship at home, and we come into this game just we let them do that to us after what happened last year. We remember we were in the same spot last year. This is how far we made it. It's the furthest the Lions have ever made it. We're not going to let that opportunity slip away again. They head into San Francisco with the most momentum they've ever had, beating the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Rams. They're back with all the momentum. They're healthy. They're ready to eat. They're going to beat the Niners on a walk-off field goal from Jake Bates, the UFL legend, and they will win the game, heading to their first Super Bowl against the Houston Texans. Bit of an interesting choice for the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be between them and the Ravens this year. I did have the Texans winning against the Ravens and heading to the Super Bowl against us, where we're going to edge out an overtime victory to secure our first ever Super Bowl. For the Detroit Lions, 40-34 Jameson Williams game-winning catch to force overtime and to win overtime. I'm so excited for the season. I think the Detroit Lions will win the Super Bowl this year, and those are some pictures of what it's going to look like in Detroit. So I got the Lions winning the Super Bowl this year. You guys let me know some games, maybe you think, oh, we'll win this, maybe we'll lose this, and what you think the Lions will do this year. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. Peace.